Deconstructing conclusions, recognition of implications or applications. This video is part 3 of the Deconstructing Conclusions series, a series intended to train you in the art of crafting the 4 elements of a conclusion for research writing. Good writers often vary the kinds of implications and applications they offer in their conclusions. The 3 most common approaches include stating new significance, practical applications, and opportunities for further research. When stating the new significance of your argument, note how your claims correct a common misconception, expand our understanding or appreciation of something, or demonstrate how something affects more than we imagined. This approach is common in the humanities, particularly literary studies, as well as in biblical studies and in theological studies. Consider this example. What many scholars disregard as an irrelevant subtheme turns out to be the dominant motif that structures the book. This sample implication underscores the significance of the argument by pointing out how it corrects a misconception, expands our understanding, and affects our interpretation of the book. When stating practical applications, identify domains of life, business, ministry, etc., that are relevant to your readers and to your argument, and then couple those domains with related applications. This approach is common in the social or applied sciences, and in subdisciplines of theology like applied theology, pastoral theology, and ethics. Consider this example. If I were writing about how children compensate for and respond to parental struggles, I might write this practical application. Clinicians should observe the behavioral responses of the counselee's children when assessing the scope and severity of the parent's erratic behavior. Note how this practical application arises from the argument and offers a tangible way of responding to the argument. When offering opportunities for further research, identify other lingering questions or gaps that have yet to be sufficiently explored. This approach is most common in theses or dissertations when writers are expected to have a comprehensive knowledge of their specialization or subfield, and can offer meaningful suggestions for further research. Avoid offering suggestions for further study in course term papers where the scope of the research is limited and your knowledge of the field is embryonic. In conclusions, writers not only emphasize the thesis, how it has been demonstrated with reasons and evidence, and how the research problem can be resolved, but also emphasize what logically follows, the implications or applications of the argument and resolution. Implications and applications extend a final answer to the important "so what" or "why does this matter" question, by identifying a few next steps for readers. These next steps should typically match the kind of research problem you chose to address. If you are addressing a conceptual problem, consider what conceptual implications emerge from your argument. If you are addressing a practical problem, consider what tangible applications emerge from that argument. Most commonly, research writers tie their implications and applications to the research problem, since the research problem already supplies them with an area of interest and significance to the readers. So consider maximizing your resolution of the research problem by allowing it to limit, direct, and generate your implications and applications. The implications and applications function as suggested next steps for readers as they respond to the argument and the resolution of the research problem. By allowing the resolution of the problem to shape your implications and applications, you are allowing the problem to motivate readers into action. Occasionally, an assignment will limit the kinds of implications or applications that you should offer the readers. In those cases, still make sure the implications and applications you choose match the argument you made and the resolution you proposed. So for instance, suppose you were writing a theological integration paper, and you were told to offer integrative implications and applications for life and ministry. And say you were comparing Christianity to Mormonism, and your related research problem was the struggle to articulate a nuanced Christology in conversation with modern heresies. Your implications and applications should not probably be about steps for restructuring church membership, or suggestions for Christian engagement with government, or diversity in state colleges or universities. Instead, you should offer implications and applications that emerge from your argument and from the resolved problem. Perhaps this paper should change the way pastors preach about Christ. Maybe it entails different evangelism strategies when engaging Mormons, or maybe it even corrects the way we pray or sing about Christ. Note how these implications and applications still match the argument and the problem, even though the assignment narrowed the scope of my implications. Another limitation writers must learn to overcome is the indefinite identity of their audience. The identity of your audience is a guiding factor when selecting implications and applications for an essay. Because you should choose next steps that are relevant and significant to your readers, seek to overcome your unfamiliarity with your readers by learning their probable needs and concerns. Although writers rarely know every reader, they can ask a few representative readers what next steps would be significant, or they can imagine the scenarios and perspectives that would motivate someone to read their essay, and then target implications toward those various scenarios. Remember that all writers work with some degree of limitations in this area, since no human writer is familiar with every reader. Although limitations like these may sometimes feel stifling, good writers use assignment limitations to focus and deepen their implications. Good writers also use audience limitations to make them interested learners who discover by imagination or research how to offer applications relevant to their readers. Thank you for watching this video on recognizing implications. To continue this series in sequence, look for the next video on the return to the hook. Or, if you have questions or would like help on one of these specific elements of the conclusion, please feel free to skip ahead to the corresponding video. Thank you, and keep writing.